So you made your acting debut in 2012.
Yeah,
But you've been doing cameos for a while.
as myself.
As yourself, but you've been
Yeah.
doing cameos for a while,
Yes.
right? Now, as it turns out, correct me if I'm wrong, your first two cameos were in the early 80s.
In the early 80s. I was a dancer in the early 80s. Not early, but I would say late 80s.
So, by the dint of the fact
85,
that you're a
86.
celebrity now, they've become cameos. In
They are not
retrospect.
really cameos. I was a backup dancer, and I did dancing like as a background dancer in a certain film.
There are two particular films that stand
Yes,
out. One
tell me.
was 81 MS Satyu. Were you a part of that film?
Kahan se guzar gaye? I was a choreographer of that song.
You were a choreographer.
I choreographed that song.
That was
My God, I
before
must say, you'll have done your research rather well, because even I had forgotten about this movie. It was a title song called Kali Mai Diya
Yeah,
Salai.
yeah.
And because it was such a low budget film, and MS Satyu lived in my building.
This,
The
so this
building
is
that I
before
lived in.
Jojita Vai Sikandar.
Much before. Jojita was 92.
Yeah, yeah. So this was your first film as a choreographer.
This was the first song I did. I don't think I was credited, and I was paid some, I think, $500 or $300 for it. And because it was so low budget that we had to dance in it also. Choreograph and dance, because there's no money for dancers.
And the other end of the spectrum, which was 3D Samri.
You know,
Oh, you-
though Sajid and me put mud on our face and try to cover ourselves up. Yes, Samri, we had a dance group which used to do break dancing at that time. That
Yeah.
was around, I think, 85, 86. must
85,
be. Yeah.
85.
So we had a dance group that used to do break dancing,
Yeah.
and you know, I was the only girl in there. And because Javed Jafri was like the it dancer that time,
Yeah.
so he said my father's doing Samri and he's doing a Michael thriller dance in
Yeah.
it. So why don't you all come and dance? And
And Bappi Lahiri was singing the song.
Bappi Lahiri was singing, Bappi Lahiri, and we shot it in a graveyard at Chandivali Studios. And Sajid and me at that time said, listen, it's too tacky. What shall we do? Maybe thinking in future we may become stars or something. We have taken mud and put on our face so nobody would recognize us.
You know that song is on YouTube, right?
But are they saying that I am in that song?
No, they are not saying
but
that.
now they will
I'll
after
be-
watching your show.
So you're not recognizable at all.
Yeah, because also I was some 40 kilos, I think, at that time. I was like thin,
Now must
coming
be
out of the
really
crypt.
young, yeah. But so that was
Those
did you-
I was backup dancers in that. I've also danced in Jalwa behind Archana Puran Singh. Feeling hot in that song.
Okay, that must have been real fun. That I envy you for. I would have
because the
liked to
only
dance.
reason I did that song was because they were flying us to Goa, and I had never sat in a plane, and I'd never been to Goa. So I was like, "Arey wow, double bonanza, chalo."
This was when this was.
This must have been in 85, 86.
Okay, but tell me, you have any memories? I mean, like MS Satyu and Ramsey brothers, you know, like the two cameos,
You know-
that the two things that came up when I was researching you. Did you have any observations of these? Like, do you remember observing these directors at all at that point in time? Must have been like really
At all.
different films.
Very, I mean, with Mr. Satyu, because I know him, he lived in my building.
Yeah.
It was in some little small school auditorium. I remember it was like really chota. It was like, you know, and we had one day to finish the song or something. I have to say, with the Ramsey brothers, they were very, very nice. We got our payments on time. We were well looked after, and they were very organized. We finished that entire shoot in 2 nights. They were very, very, very different from what you would imagine them to be.
Yeah.
Extremely professional, they were the only people. Usually we'd do this and then we'd be running behind for our money for ages. You know, we were paid at the end of the night, like. So they were really, we had a good experience, other than we had to wash off that mud for 1 hour.
Okay, so okay, it was a spoof of Thriller, that song.
Yes, I don't think it was a spoof, I guess. Yeah, Jagdeep was dancing to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, very obviously
Very
Thriller with
obviously.
wearing the
Yes,
MJ
and the
red
music also
coat,
was there.
yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yeah. And Thriller, like you said, has been one of the biggest reasons why you became a dancer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, tell me about your early Michael Jackson fixation. How old were you when you first saw Thriller?
I was quite old when I saw Thriller. I must have been like 17, 18.
That's not quite old.
That's quite old. I mean, people start dancing when they are younger and all. I started dancing when I was almost 18.
Okay.
So, and I think the 80s, I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia. I still believe is the best time for music and, you know, like at least American music. We were all into
pop.
it, Cyndi Lauper and Madonna and Michael Jackson. And so, I had absolutely no training in dance, and I saw Thriller at my neighbor's house because he had a video, and it's just like one of those moments where you're like, what the hell is this, and I have to do it.
What were you doing in life at that point?
I was in college and really like doing nothing.
You were in Xavier's?
I was in Xavier's.
Why did you take sociology?
Because it was the easiest subject. No, you can go on writing crap.
It was the easiest subject?
Yeah, what is sociology? You go just read, and where we used to attend. I was actually took sociology as a major much later. I did my BA through correspondence because they kicked me out of college for non-attendance because I was only in a canteen. And by the way, the Mala dance competition was started by me and my friends.
Really?
Yeah, that Western dance competition that they have now. That wasn't there when we were there. And we said, how can you not have one? You should have one. So the father told us, okay, you do it in the canteen the first year because the hall is booked solid for all other activities. And so we put up 4 tables on the canteen floor and we did Thriller. And there was nobody in the hall because everybody came and that whole quadrangle was full watching us do Michael Jackson on the tables. And then from next year they kind of made it legitimate and they made it a proper competition.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me how you taught yourself dancing.
By watching videos and also by really at that point we used to keep going for these afternoon jams sessions, you know.
What are the afternoon?
They because in NM Mitibai they used to have afternoon socials. They were called socials.
So they were like dance parties.
They were dance parties in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, because nightly parents may not allow, so it was dance parties in the afternoon.
And did they have lights and everything?
Yeah, it was a disco, and they used to book like a banquet hall or somewhere like that, or a nightclub in the afternoon. So literally, and when you go there, then you find people who dance. You know, and then you meet them, and then we met a lot of people who were great dancers at that point, and they're literally like mini stars of that college and all, you know. So then you meet up with them, and then we formed a group, like a dance group, 5. There were 4 boys and me. And then we used to dance, we used to watch videos, and we used to invent steps, and we used to practice on my terrace of my building on the Jew beach.
And did you start dancing professionally around
They were as professional
the same
as
group
you could get that time,
So
like New Year's night we used to be having 5 shows. So the highlight was we used to book a car and then travel.
That's quite big.
From 5 shows we used to get.
And what kind, like where did you
dance? Like retreat at Mud Island, you know, the New Year's entertainment. Do the half an hour performance.
Okay, I found a very strange entry on the internet about you always look so skeptical about what might be on the internet. Do you not Google yourself?
Not at all.
No, this is strange because it was just one of those things. There's an entry that you had a dance partner called Hemu Sinha.
Yeah, Hemu.
And you guys won something called the Friendship Award in duo category in 1987 for being nice to participants.
1986. This is like the Miss Congeniality Award. No, it was actually the World Dance Championship. It was the World Dance Championship in the UK, and we went from India. We won the Indian Championships. I wish people had things, and you know my next movie, Happy New Year, it's all about a World Dance Championship.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so it's really funny because it's like come a full circle.
Okay, oddly this was not there. It just said that you won some...
It was a World Dance Championship in UK. There were 32 countries, and Hemu and me were we had won the Indian Championship and we went there. And of course, when we saw the other countries, we were like, listen, but me being me, I had taken, you know, like packets of bindis and bangles and things like that to just like we are from India. And I think that's the only reason we won. Hemu did nothing. Hemu, you did nothing. So we won the friendship trophy over there. Like everyone voted for us as the most friendly country.
And how this is so? How old
This
were
was in
you?
86. I must have been 20. But at that point, I think I knew what I wanted to be, because when I read that there was a big folder there, which they had all the people from each country saying, you know, my ambition, and when I found the folder, I had written my ambition to be a film director.
A film director.
A film director. So maybe at that time I knew that, okay, like,
You had already, from going to not
Yeah,
knowing
because, yeah,
what you wanted to do
choreography
in
and
life
all-
to you went straight to.
choreography and all were not an option.
I wasn't.
They all choreographers used to be 50, 60 years old. They used to be old dancers who became and
Come on, Farah. Even
No,
film
Pragya.
directors, there was not a single woman film director in the mainstream. अभी भी नहीं है, but
नहीं,
I mean,
अभी
like,
है,
okay, one or
अभी
two
काफी
maybe.
है, हाँ. But I'm saying at that point, films also people, and I was in Xavier's, people used to look down on
Yeah,
Bollywood movies.
okay, so your first exposure to film would have been through your dad.
My first exposure was through my dad.
Did you
yes.
watch his films?
Some of them, which when I was small, which came out. The earlier ones I haven't watched, and I think they're lost. Sadly, I've collected all the posters of most of his movies,
But what about
but
his,
the print negatives cannot be found anywhere.
none of them?
One or two, which I have. One or two.
So what was the first film of his that you remember?
It was a movie called Watan Se Dur, which was a copy of The Great Escape,
Okay.
which was about these Indian soldiers who are caught by the Chinese and they are in the war camp, and so it was Great Escape basically, and how they escaped from there.
And so you watched it on.
We used to watch it on every birthday at home. The bed sheet would be put and the projector would be called for, and all the neighbors, all the building people would come to watch.
Any other films of his? That you
Yeah,
remember
lots
watching?
of them. Do Matwale, Chalbaz. He used to make all these fun movies.
Yeah.
You know, now I realize there were always some copy of some English movie, but there used to be great fun.
Do you remember any characters from those times that you must have met from the film industry because of your dad?
No, a lot of them. I mean, Dara Singh was a very close friend of my dad's.
And were you a fan?
No, he was Dara uncle. You know, we used to go to his, and we used to go to watch Sajid, and we used to be taken to watch the wrestling matches at NSCI and all that. Fab they were. Very exciting. All those wrestlers would come from abroad and Dara uncle would defeat all of them and all. Now you think of it, must have been rigged, but so yeah, a lot of people, Mumtaz, that she also got a break through my dad.
Yeah.
And of course my aunts were in movies, na, Daisy Rani
Yeah.
and Hani Rani. So
Yeah.
a lot of people.
So you obviously didn't have the snob thing of not associating with Bollywood or not associating with Hindi masala movies, despite
No,
the
I
fact
mean
that
for us, Sajid and me, till we reach college, up to a point in Xavier's maybe, where you don't openly say
Yeah.
that I love Bollywood.
Yeah.
But up to that point, we were full. I mean, I'm an encyclopedia on 70s movies. Sajid is an encyclopedia on the dirty 80s movies that came out during his
Yeah.
teenage years.
Yeah.
But we were hardcore filmy buffs. Like we used to, what was there to do? We didn't have a TV at home.
So
We
you
didn't
went
have
to
anything.
use-
The movies were it. Like going to a movie was the big deal.
Where
Watch
did
an
you
English
live
movie.
then?
We lived in Juhu,
okay,
in a really small society called Nehru Nagar Society,
okay.
which was full of filmy, you know, like all the people who lived there were either B grade film directors or so, but in a way it was very nice because they'd all made some small movie here or there. Huh.
Okay. You know, you've spoken about it a lot, but you know, you mentioned how people stopped coming to your dad's colleagues, stopped coming home after he went through a bad patch in the movies. You've spoken about how your family went from riches to rags, your family split up because of it. Clearly you saw the worst side of this
absolutely.
film industry. You know, like everything that...
Yeah, it's like when I see, you think you'd put it in a movie and
You
someone
wouldn't.
would
You won't
say,
put like-
how filmy,
Yeah.
like as if
Yeah.
this will happen. But
Yeah.
it was literally, like I saw my gramophone being sold and being taken away and all. So it was really like, if you see in a movie, you'll say like it's a bit over the top.
And yet you were not hesitant to join the film industry.
I don't think we were equipped for anything else. You know, Pragya, the thing is, Sajid and me, I mean, I was very good at my studies, but the thing is, a love for cinema comes from your childhood. You know, it's like if you love dancing or...
Yeah.
So, luckily for me, I found a passion other than that, which was dance. You know, which I was kind of, but I
Which was such an integral part of films.
which luckily for me it
Yeah.
worked out well because I was into Jackson and into Western dance. I had no clue about Hindi dancing.
Yeah.
you know. But then when I was, so that I think kind of helped me get a foothold into films. If I just came and said I want to make a movie, who would give it to me?
But there was no hesitation also, Farah, ki yaar, you know, there's something you start associating which is like.
But see, I was not thinking that I'm going to be, I was thinking that I'm just happy being on a set, and you know, literally because we had nothing, even that, you know, my dream used to be, I used to tell Sajid, I used to say that, listen, when I become a top choreographer, no, then I'll charge 10,000 rupees for a song, you know, and if I'll do 4 songs a month, we'll have 40,000 a month, and like we are sorted, man. So, you know, our dreams were so small, and we were so happy with such little that anything that came was bigger than what we had hoped for.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I don't also take anything that seriously, or I don't attach myself to the material side of it, because our dreams were really, I would be happy with 40,000 a month. And I then feel that it's God's really been kind, and like, I mean, you know, that's.
Okay, tell me, Farah, how did you, so clearly you were not that angry or bitter about it, despite having gone through
I was never a bitter or angry person. Sajid was for a long time.
So how did you, like what helped you now when you look back?
Now I'm telling you, when I look back, I am telling you the dance really helped me, because there was a channel to do something, you know, because the house situation was so bad that for many, after Xavier's, would get over say by 3:34, and I would just hang around there till 7 in the evening, because I didn't want to come back home to, it was a little like depressing, and you know. So I would just hang around there with my friends who were the hostel boys, and they would probably take me to eat something, or but when the dance came in, it really gave us something to do, and you know, all your energies are then focused. And dance, anyone who dances can't be a sad person. You know, your dancers are usually happy, and
you're surrounded by that energy.
You're surrounded by you want to do, and everything is about. And that time, the dance scene in Bombay was really like, it was really like, you know, now you see in Step Up and all, you'd go to a disco and there'd be another group there, and then you wanted to do your little bit showing off over there. So I think that really kept me away from all sorts of things. I mean, I could have easily gotten into drugs, or you know,
or just
having stupid boyfriends.
Because I would imagine it's tougher for a girl to deal with alienation from her father, because you're also living away from your father for the first time.
And then we went back to live with my dad, and we were away from the mom.
And then
so it was very.
And this was just before your dad passed away.
So it was very confusing, and it was also not like, we just settled in with my mom in that house where, and then we had to go back and stay with my dad, which Sajid was very excited about, because all his friends were in that building, and my mother used to keep a watch on him. Here he was free, nobody is asking him where he's going, when he's coming. So he had become a wild child. Means literally we used to think Sajid will go in juvenile delinquent home. So for him to do that, I think that's a bigger achievement than mine.
So why did you deal with it better? Other than dance, is there any other reason why you dealt with it better than your brother did?
I was older. I'm 5 years older than him.
Okay.
You know, also I think when you look back, you can analyze it any which way. I was sent to a very normal school, St. Teresa's Convent. It was all girls school, and there were people from a lower kind of poverty, you know, background income than me. Sajid went to Maniji Cooper High School, where all the elite kids went. So he was probably the poorest child over there. So, you know, that also gives you a complex.
What was the hardest to deal with? I remember you joked somewhere about being poor cousins with Zoya and Farhan. Did you actually feel like a poor cousin?
You know, to their credit, they never made us feel like a poor cousin.
They don't have to make you feel.
But we were the poor cousins. I was wearing hand-me-downs, and you know, of course, but I think it's Honey Auntie and Daisy Auntie really supported my mom, and you know, took us in, and we stayed in their house for so long and all. But you do feel that, you know. But I still, I think my mom has more of she still feels, I sometimes tell her we are not the poor cousins anymore, but she still feels that complex and that gratitude, and you know, that.
I guess. You know, she has to live with it longer than you guys.
But I mean, Zoya was my best friend. I mean, she used to follow me everywhere.
She was younger.
She was much younger, and so she used to look up. She used to, I was to go for dance shows, she used to come for every dance show and hang around backstage and all. And Farhan and Sajid were very close, vice versa.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. So clearly, sense of humor has been like something you've really relied on.
that's a trait, our family trait.
Yeah.
From my dad, my
Visibly.
mom, and all my aunts, and everything is finally ends up, however tragic a situation, after 1 month later they will make a joke of it and find it funny, and whether it was my grandmother's funeral or whatever. So
Yeah. Is
they-
there anything that you find it hard to laugh?
yeah,
Like,
there are a lot of things if you I can't laugh about. I don't want to talk about them because I start crying. So like when my dad passed away and all, it was really not something I want to talk about.
Okay. You know, you've observed the film industry, you know, since we're on this from the 70s through your father and up
Yeah.
till now, of course. Do you think it's still the kind of place where your colleagues would, you know, at least part of your colleagues would desert you if your film doesn't do well? And if not, is it because people have changed or the economic realities of the film industry?
I know.
changed?
I think that kind of acceptance was there. I mean, if you're riding high, chढ़ते सूरज को salam, that is going on from
But that's
times
there even now.
immemorial. Of course.
And you're saying that no, that extreme, like one doesn't hear of now.
Now it's become
cases.
worse, I think.
Really? Because one doesn't hear of cases of like your dad or Raj
No,
Kapoor.
see,
who
you know
would
why?
just-
Because now you are not putting in your personal money.
So you're saying the economic realities
Yeah,
have changed.
it's a corporate thingy.
Yeah.
My dad was Raj Kapoor mortgaged the entire
Yeah.
RK Studios. That passion for cinema. My dad put his entire own money. So once it's gone, you're like bankrupt.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore to a great extent because it's all.
And then
corporate.
there were no other channels also. I mean, there wasn't
now
like
there's
an
satellite
underworld and or the corporate or whatever.
It's
None of that was
very
there.
difficult for you to kind of become bankrupt over a movie nowadays because it's all so like it's all channelized and corporatized and
Yeah.
you know very few who puts in their own money. Shah Rukh Khan, I think.
You know, you spoke about passion for cinema. It's something, I was reading some interview of yours in which you were also talking about how the earlier generations, up to your generation and the generation of the superstar Khans, everyone had some sort of passion or feeling, which also perhaps led to scandals and fights,
Yes.
which, you know, fueled the media. Is it kind of, when you see the new generation and how pragmatic and clinical they are about everything, is it kind of boring or do you feel
Yeah,
like
it's boring. It's boring. Like I said, they asked me. I said there are not going to be any great friendships or great enmities anymore.
Yeah.
I think they were asking about how we all fight. I said we fight amongst ourselves because there was great friendship and great love. At some point, great emotion for
Yeah.
all of us who came
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
But now I don't think there won't be any great enmities or great fights because nobody even cares a damn. They're not even friends with each other.
Yeah.
And in the sense, it is a bit boring. It's so
Yeah.
clinical, and you do your job, and I'll do my job, and you
And
know,
we'll all
like
be polite
I
with
think,
each
like
other.
I think the last time you saw a great show of love and affection was a song in Om Shanti Om. Whoever,
Yeah,
you
when
know, everyone
everybody
just
showed
came.
up
Why would
and-
they come? It's Shah Rukh Khan movie. I'm the director. Some came for me. A lot of them came for him.
Yeah.
Few didn't come. It's fine. But look at I mean, when we were on the set, and I think that was the last time the heroes were bonding together, and there's genuine affection,
Which
and they
comes
all
across.
hung. It was a party. They all
Yeah.
hung around after their shot was over. Salman and Saif hung around. You know,
Yeah.
they went to their van. They had a kind of party over there, and then he came back when Dharamji was giving his shot. They waited for his shot and then jumped in without being asked. You know, who does that anymore? It's those.
That might have been the last great
I think that was the last great
filmy party. I was going to ask you, you know, we're talking about the film industry changing.
Yeah.
You've also seen Bombay change in the 70s.
Yeah, we
Is
can't
there-
even call it bloody Bombay anymore, no?
I still call it Bombay. I still
Yeah,
write
even
Bombay.
I call it Bombay. And my
Yeah. Is it? Do you miss anything about how this city has changed?
You know,
What it used to be?
It's just become so intolerant.
Yeah.
I remember when I was shooting from Oh Darling Ye India. I think it must have been in 93 or 94,
Yeah.
maybe. And we used to shoot all night. And we used to pack up by 3:34 in the morning from Marine Drive. And I would take a cab alone, and I never doubt that I won't reach home
Yeah.
safely.
Yeah.
And you know, my daughters, I get so worried now. And I'm like, even if they're going by school bus, I'm going to have a car following to make sure. It's just so sad, and we are just regressing. We're just regressing. And I have to wear little minis and go out and dance, and never has got pinched or You know, it's just.
It used to be a great city for women. Even 10 years ago, it used to be a great city for women, which
It's
is not anymore.
So, I mean, you know, shutting down places at 10:30, and I really think it's not because we are showing, like they say, item songs ban karo. No, I feel because your sexuality is being repressed, that all these things are happening. I don't think so many rapes happen in Amsterdam or where it's out in the open. So I'm not saying it's. I think it's being repressed, and that is why this kind of incidents are happening more and more.
Yeah.
You know, it's because we are always talking in hushed whispers. Our censors have become, I feel, sometimes rubbish.
Yeah.
What are they asking us to cut?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's
And
no
when I see some
consistency
UA
about it.
movies, I'm shocked and I'm like, I can't take my children to see one bhalas being poked inside the stomach, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
men are being cut by saws and axes, and it's a UA film. So I don't know, it's something clearly very wrong. I think we should take the name, Vastu wise, we should go back to Bombay.
Yeah.
Things were hunky dory till we became Mumbai.
Okay, one last question, which was, you recently spoke about in 1993 how your family, when the riots were going on, there was you had neighbors who helped you guys protect your family against lynch mobs. Was that the only time in Bombay that you felt singled out for being a minority?
I never thought of myself as a minority, Pragya. I still don't, because maybe we are also very liberal.
Sure.
We come from a different background, but at that point, it was very scary because we had to literally go and remove our nameplates from the building, and we were the only Muslims in the entire society, and never once were we made to feel. I mean, we have a very Punjabi sense of humor, and but
also your mother was Parsi.
My mother is Parsi, my father is Muslim. We were never forced to read do the namaz, or my mother is very anti-religion.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
She's like made me sign in a will she's written, if she dies and God forbid we do any religious ceremony, a ghost will come to haunt us. So, like, don't y'all dare do anything. So we are that liberal.
Yeah.
But it's quite.
But was it an incident that you just put aside, or did that change something?
I think I started doing my rozas, and I became a little more Muslim than I was earlier. I read the Quran, and I made me more, find out about my religion much more. Of course, now I've gone back to being spiritual rather than religious.
You could have spun a positive outtake from.
No, because I think it just made people want to know more, and why, it just kind of unites them a little more.
Yeah.
And
but after that you've not felt like, a lot of people talk about how the character of the city changed after 93, but after that you haven't felt that.
I feel it's become the character, I don't know, it's just, there is no character anymore. I'm telling you, in my movie we have a song where we have to talk about India and why it's and there's really nothing inspiring us right now to. It's so sad. I'm like, why do I feel proud of my country? It'll take me 10 minutes to think and find something. Why am I proud of my city or my country? It's really sad.
Yeah, the only thing that remains is the people, our sense of humor, our unabashedness,
I think
and all of that.
We are also becoming very blasé, and
well, hopefully by the time it fully materializes, we'll be dead.
But our kids will be there, no?
You have kids, you have to worry about that.
You will also have one day, so
I'll worry then.
Yeah.
You have broken a lot of molds, and one of them, I imagine, was the fact that you were not an Indian classical trained dancer, being a female choreographer. Was that a hindrance in the beginning?
Maybe people's minds, yes. In the beginning, they would not give me Hindi, like, you know what I mean, the Indian big songs to do. They would say love song karalo, or she only does western, or she can only do love songs because Pehla Nasha done. Well, I think, and for me, I love Indian classical. I mean, if you tell me to come and watch Indian classical, I love it. I just think it's the most beautiful dance form, and I was so sad because I really didn't have the money to ever learn it, or the time to take off for 2 years.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You need a lot of time.
You need time, and I was always earning, you know. So I would really want my daughters to learn like Odissi or Kathak. You know, because I just think it makes you so beautiful and elegant and graceful, and
very happy.
But yeah, it does. And but I got assistants who are trained in that, and even when I had to do a mudra, I would take a class for a month. I would call the teacher to come and teach me at least the basics. I think it helped also, and in a sense that you're not bound by rules of the form that you have learnt, and because I didn't know the rules, I was inventing and doing what I want, you know. Other sometimes you're so trained that you feel ye kaise ye to kar hi nahi sakte, you know. It also limits you in that sense. You want to be in that box. So in that sense, but sometimes I think when Saroj Khan choreographs, her inherent training is an asset to the way she makes the girls do that. So I would have loved to do that, but I didn't. So I made the best of what I knew.
But how do you, looking back, how do you feel you contributed to the way choreography has changed in the last couple of years? Well, last 2 decades.
2 years, 20 years. See, I think
starting with Pehla Nasha, which was also very not the kind of song
I
that
think
was.
To many things, I may sound immodest. I think before I came on, it was very, very uncool. Bollywood dancing and film dancing was uncool. I think after I brought a change about where it was cool to like, you know, whether it was Kuch Kuch Hota Hai or Dil Se or Virasat or even the village songs, there was a inherent aesthetic value to it. And I think the younger generation reacted to them. It was not that hardcore, crass and filmy. Also the look of the songs, you know, the background dancers, that I will credit myself, because in Jojita I went out of my way. I fought with the unions because I said if they are college students, I will get college students who will dance behind. Not 45-year-old fat men and women dressed in frilly frocks. So, you know, the whole look, and now getting these background dancers who are slim and you know, who are athletic looking and who are fit looking. I think that credit has to go to me, because prior Jojita, the dancers at the back were really, I mean, and all playing Khud Ko Kya, some material, all like fat men dancing behind, balding fat men. It wasn't their fault, because it was a Cine Dance Association who would not take new members for years on end.
Okay, if I had to ask you to name any 6 songs with which you felt you turned a corner, which ones would?
I think definitely Pehla Nasha to begin with. I think I really turned a corner with Dhol Bajne Laga, because that kind of people woke up and said that okay, she can do Indian. You know, I think also Rukja from Dilwale, because before that I had not got a big song to choreograph in a very big film. I mean 1942 and all okay, but they were still love songs. This was a full like a dance number. I think Dil Se, Chaya Chaya. Chaya Chaya was huge, and though the movie tanked, I mean it just did me. It was my international calling card, I think. I got Bombay Dreams because of it. I got a Chinese movie. I got Monsoon Wedding. Whatever, it's all happened because of Chaya Chaya. Only 6 songs, I think.
Or can you name more?
No, I think for me, not a corner, but I think the way songs were being done, I think Mehuna, the Qawwali and that whole kitsch element has come through because of Mehuna. You know that 70s, that aesthetic kitsch. You know, whether it was the pink lighting or the green, now you just see it so often that even you have forgotten the origins of it. But it all came from the Qawwali from Mehuna. The way it was shot with the swans and the lotus, all those elements which we had not seen, which we used to see in 50s Hindi movies. So I think that, and I would say Sheila and Munni, I guess.
Why Sheila?
I think they just became bigger than I thought they would be. You know, when I was shooting them, I was like, they'll do well. They just became like cult songs.
You know, if you, like you said, after this whole phase, Bollywood dancing became a genre abroad. There are Bollywood dancing classes in New York and London and like proper dancing classes. If you had to describe the genre to somebody completely unacquainted, what would you say?
It's a mix of, you know, I don't know how to describe it, because there are no rules. You
Yeah,
just
but
take
I'm just
what
asking
you
you.
want.
I'm saying
I
you have
can
to
take
try.
a Gene Kelly number and mix it with Bharatnatyam, and you know, it's anything goes, is what I would say. Is anything goes. There are no rules, and of course there's a lot of energy, I would say, in a Bollywood number. The inherent thing is that it's pulsating, is energetic, and a lot of the hip area is predominantly used. Like if you see an American dance, you will use the arms, or you will use the feet. But I think our mid region is used a lot in Bollywood dancing.
Okay, you know, Farah, I want to ask you, you know, there was a whole rash of item numbers in the last couple of years, which restricted choreography to a large extent, you know, because it became like this one similar kind of choreography. And it was in fact a return to what was going on with choreography before you entered the scene in a lot of ways, because just the crass numbers. And now there's this whole trend of songless movies.
Yeah.
What do you see as the future of choreography in Hindi cinema?
I don't think it's going away too quickly, which I also, in a way, if you're making a thriller, I don't see why you should have songs in it. They're going to hinder. Like when I saw Talash, I called Rima and I said I wish there were 1-2 songs less, because in this movie they weren't required. But if you're having a Dabang 2 or you're having a Happy New Year or something, and I tell my stories through music. You know, so, and I also inherently believe that what makes a Bollywood movie stand out internationally are its songs and dances, and the fact that we are the only film industry to kind of have that in every film. Otherwise, you'll be a French film. You're making a French film or a Polish.
Also,
film.
we have a great time with them.
We don't have pop music. We don't have jazz music. We don't have. We have Bollywood music. We used to have Indian classical music. But we know like what's happening with that.
No, but anyway, it's not a substitute for Bollywood.
Exactly.
I mean,
abroad there's a country, and there's country classical, and there's, you know, in the Grammy there are 10 different. What do we have here? Bollywood music. So it's literally all the songs that I know from my childhood are Hindi movie songs. So I don't see anything bad in that. But is that everyone then wants to do that one thing. Even I got an item number now, I'm like, abhi main aur kya karungi item song mein yaar, let me take a break. Raj Bhushan, he wants his one love song, one sad song, one dancer. My Darde Disco came out because of that. Because we are laughing, he said Bhushan has told us, Bhushan Kumar of the series, that 2 songs sell very much in India. One is a dance number and one is a dard wala song, sad song. Sad songs and dance songs both do very well. Aap dono dalo. So I was telling them that what Darde kya disco mein dard wala, and that's how I got the phrase Darde Disco. You know, it's a mix of a sad song but it's a disco number.
I can't believe that Bhushan Kumar had something to do with
he's very clear about what is selling.
I would have never imagined the genesis of Darde Disco.
If you're telling me Pyar Hookah Bar is a hit, then God bless us all for the future of music.
Okay, fine. Point acknowledged. Okay, you mentioned Saroj Khan earlier.
Yes.
You assisted her, right?
Not at all.
You didn't assist her?
At all. I didn't assist any choreographer. This is a big myth that goes around because I'm a Khan. And not at all.
But it's written in a lot of places.
Not at all. She used to hate me with a passion. Still does, I think.
Why?
Because I was a newcomer who was coming up and she was a reigning queen.
Okay. You know, coming to your movies, again, like we were saying earlier, that you practically started a certain kind of genre of filmmaking, which I feel, from what I know of you, is reflects your relationship with masala Hindi films. You know, part laughing at it and part loving it. You know, tell me about the genesis of this genre. What was going on in your head when Mehuna was coming together?
I have to tell you something that my husband told me. I mean, when Mehuna was a movie for me, of all the movies that I've loved while growing up, or the kind of movies that I was not frankly a Yash Chopra fan. Kabhi Kabhi was not my favorite movie. Parvarish or Naseeb would be, or a Nasir Hussain movie would be. So I was not for these love stories, these cranky movies. I was liking all these movies where you're having fun, and so it came about writing a movie that I would never be able to write a Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Yeah, but Farah, it's also the reinvention.
But now everyone's, exactly. It was brought your 70s Everything
with a twist of irony, na? That's why we relate to it. That's why a much younger generation relates to it. No?
Om Shanti Om kind of absolutely put your seal on it. But I take all the movies that I love and they are so funny now when you.
Yeah, but you do something with them. I mean, can you imagine how horrific it would be if someone actually tried to make seriously tried to. Yeah, a lot of people did. So I'm saying that wouldn't work, right?
No, see, when you shoot it also, you have to shoot it in a way that it doesn't look like a bad 70s movie.
Yeah.
It still has to look big and grand and all. But Shirisha told me something very funny. He said, you just make your movie seriously and people will think it's a spoof. I said, how mean is that? He said, you seriously put your drama and everyone laughing that thing is a spoof.
Come on, Farah, that's not true at all because your own sense of humor shows through in your films.
And the love, I think it also, there's a love for the movies. It's not mocking them or, I think that's something that's inherently, I'm enjoying, I'm laughing, the audience is laughing with me, not at my movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy New Year, I think the script we've written is,
yeah.
I've really taken my trouble because after Tismar Khan, I kind of learnt a lesson and so I've really spent a year, but it is bigger and little over the top, but I think it's time to also modernize it a bit.
Yeah.
Keep the humor, keep the incredulity of the story that I want to say, but make them believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine making a film that is not of this genre? Maybe
I could make a superb thriller, I think. I would make a fab thriller and I would make a good drama. If you see Mehuna or Om Shanti Om, I think the drama portions, even if it's the climax where the ghosts come down or the scene between Arjun and Shah, those are my forte. I wait for those drama portions in my movie to come. I think I thoroughly enjoy. Even in Mehuna, the conflict between Sunil and I think the movies also go a notch higher because they're not just another comedy, which happened with Tismar Khan.
Yeah.
It was just a comedy.
Yeah.
I think it's the drama and the conflict and the motive, the revenge. I think all that which I put in,
of course,
gives it that gravity and makes it a bit much more than just
anything that emotionally grips you will.
So I think I'll be able to do that. I may not want to make a sappy love story. I have no interest. Really, I have no interest in watching them. I have no interest in making them. I can't even think about it. But if you give me like a gritty thriller or a suspense, I think I'll do a very good job at it.
You mentioned Tismar Khan. Why do you feel that it didn't do as well as the first two movies?
It didn't do well for many, reasons. It was just, like I said, it was a script which I found very funny and all.
Did you try to do something different with Tismar Khan?
Not really.
Which you didn't do with the first two movies?
No, the difference was that it was not something I had written. I thought the script is very funny. If someone else would have made it, let me tell you, it's a very funny script and it would have done much better. But coming from me, I think it was a letdown because there were a lot of...
this is just a thought that came to my head at that point. I don't know how you feel about it. Did it also have anything to do with the kind of audience Akshay Kumar commands and the kind of audience and the expectations that change?
That's what I said. The whole, it was, of course. Coming from me, again, I cannot put the blame because I chose the actor.
Yeah.
But because it was my film, I had given two huge blockbusters, they felt कि ये बहुत छोटा है.
Yeah.
It's too, whether it was in production value or whether it was in starcast or whether it was in what we were saying, it just fell short of, which I made sure and Happy New Year 10 times. It's like it's like going to a restaurant, you're going to have a French meal and you're getting junk food.
Yeah.
Even though the junk food may be good and would have worked better in a junk food stall.
You have always scoffed at these sort of very coy representations of women with the pretty sex object or the eyelash batting girl or weepy insensitive women. And even so, I remember you saying that amongst other things, you're a better multitasker because you're a woman.
Yeah.
In your experience, what do you think makes women the stronger sex and what if anything makes them the weaker sex?
Yeah, I don't think the weaker sex tag has been put by men, obviously.
Yeah.
Because if one man had to go through, forget a pregnancy, had to go through one menstrual cycle, what would happen to the world? And they would be going mental and stabbing people on the road. The kind
which they're doing anyway.
But imagine if that also happened. Forget that being being able to bear a child and pass a child. And
Yeah.
so just the women, I mean, when I look at my, not only myself, when I look at a normal working lady who goes to work, cuts her vegetables in the train, goes home, has to cook the dinner because the man's obviously too tired from doing what, then takes the children's homework,
Yeah.
maybe washes the dishes, goes to sleep, gets up in the morning and goes to earn money also, including my maids,
Yeah.
you know, who are running their own house, the husbands are doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it's just that it's the weaker sex has been, obviously the tag has been put by a man, because that's what they want to believe and that's where they want to kind of keep the women of this country.
You know, Farah,
I
I'm going to
agree.
make a complaint now.
Yes.
Why do none of your heroines reflect your steely character? You're
But
an amazing woman.
But you know, I feel my women are all, whether it's Sushmita or Amrita Rao
Yeah.
or Deepika, they are all, no one's a victim. None of them are victims, including Katrina and Tismar Khan.
Except Deepika in her first Janam.
But she was, now come on, now she's being killed by somebody, but she was not, she was having an extramarital affair with a married man. And how many people asked me to change that and said nobody, you know, the heroine's looking very tatty, and I was like, no, but she's a top heroine who's obviously in love with this person. So no, I think, yeah,
Okay,
if you're
no,
telling me I
moral
should make
aside,
a movie about a woman police inspector.
A woman like you, she may be doing now. It's not about a police inspector. She could be doing nothing. But a woman like you,
women who are doing nothing, that's my
and
problem.
that doesn't matter. I'm saying the profession doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the character matters. I mean, I just feel they don't have the kind of.
Maybe chalo, next one I will take you seriously. But I always feel that none of them are victims, and I also like in my movies, I like to see them little beautiful and graceful, and
That is fine. They
you
can be
know,
beautiful.
something
and
that
graceful.
maybe I don't
That's
reflect
not
in my-
contradictory to
Yeah.
being, you know. I'm talking about the kind of
the
strength.
kind of, okay,
and
who will make a movie on me?
you will make a movie on you.
No,
Yeah,
I
not
can't.
on you. I'm saying, you know.
Yeah, like that. Okay, so I
More
will,
like you.
I will keep
If
that
your-
in mind.
Yeah, your heroine should be more like you. Then you might also be able to change the way heroines are.
You know, I just
I'm
feel-
just saying, Farah, listen,
Yeah.
the way you have made the cross the bridge, okay, either our heroines are those, you know, the साड़ी पहन के वो खून का
हाँ.
तिलक लगा के मेकअप उतार के
हाँ,
चंडी माँ, or it's the other end of the spectrum, okay.
Correct.
So since you've bridged the gap everywhere, I was saying
Okay,
that.
so do one in between. Okay, so
Yeah.
on Happy New Year, I will do that.
Okay, thank you for speaking out and talking about cosmetic surgery. You
Oh,
have to
okay.
tell me why it's such a taboo. Today, okay, cosmetic surgery is an advanced salon treatment in the world.
I completely agree, and I keep saying that it's like there was a taboo about IVF, and nobody envisages we have our child naturally at 43. Now, come on, get her. You can't fool everyone.
Or even 40.
It's like when my mother was younger. They didn't have a gym where there were machines to help you tone up. Now there is. Would you look down upon them and say, we used to go for a walk on the beach?
But then why is it such a taboo?
I think-
it's like going to the salon now.
I agree, but I think the girls are just doing it too early in life. That's the thing. They're all just doing it in their 20s and just when they're hitting 30. It's too early to do it. I, of course, did it because I had given birth to 3 children. You know, I had to, there was no other way for me. I tried every other way, and if my way can help other people,
Yeah.
I don't know, 100 people must have taken my doctor's number from me. And I didn't see, I can't go every day and lie and say, oh, wow, you become so thin, and yeah, I'm dieting, you know. And I suddenly realized all those people who are telling me this down the year, you know, I've zipped my mouth. I don't eat ads, just zip my mouth and say, oh, now the bulb went, or oh, you also went and did it.
Would you have done it if you were not a part of this industry, which has so much of emphasis on looks?
I really clearly didn't do it because as emphasis I've done 30 shows with looking
Yeah.
fat. I'll tell you what, I got a little reality check when I saw Shirin Farhad ki to nikal padi. I got, when I saw it, I just realized, oh shit, is that me? You know, sometimes you need that because you're so used to seeing yourself every day.
Yeah.
And you don't really bother. And I saw it and I was like, look, listen, I can't be looking like this now for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, so I was thinking about it. and I'd had my 3 kids. That's what I said in an article also, you know, the prawn allergies, you know, go to the lips and to the boobs also. Straight, I mean, which allergy is this, where your boobs also become bigger and your lips also become bigger. Superb. So, I just think the girls are doing it too early.
You know, your personal life and your marriage has been under a lot of scrutiny in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I imagine, I don't know because I haven't been, I imagine this is new, slightly new for you. I don't know if you were under the same kind of scrutiny.
I don't know whether it's scrutiny, but people are just judgmental and they, you know.
Yeah, or so much being written about your personal life,
Yes.
or being like analyzed or whatever. This is going on in her marriage or that's not going on. Do you always find it easy to deal with? Does it never get to you?
Yeah, it irritates me at times because clearly nobody knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, your best friends don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
in your
exactly.
bed.
And
It's
sometimes
really-
I see very happily couples who are cuddling in public, and you know, my marriage works for me. Let me say, it's a unusual marriage. My husband is 8 years younger than me. We have 3 kids, and it works for us. If the same situation may not work, it's not a conventional
Yeah.
marriage.
Yeah.
You know, also for him it's harder to deal because I was already very successful when he married me.
Yeah.
So it requires a different kind of approach after
Which
a
is
point,
great.
but then it does get irritating, and now I make it a point to call people and say stop, because there's a time now I need to take a call and say stop writing shit,
Yeah.
because it undermines my husband more than anything else.
Also your kids. I mean, some
My kids are still younger, but when
Yeah.
they grow up, yes, it will.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm on a spree of just calling people and saying stop it. Because
And
my
is it
kids
working?
will be 5. Once you do it long enough, it will work. Otherwise, everyone feels free for all. Kuch bhi likho, they are not going to say anything. Out of 10 people, 2 will stop at least. And
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are so judgmental here. They all make up their minds, including us when we see. We also make up our minds and say.
How has your idea of romance changed or evolved since when you were young?
Like Shirish said, he said that प्यार में हार उसकी होती है जो शादी कर लेता है. So, if you have a great love story, don't get married.
Yeah.
Because then and now, I mean, I love my house because we have 3 beautiful kids, and it's all about them. And yesterday we went to their annual function and we sat there as mama and dada, and they saw us sitting there and they were so excited. So I mean, that is now, you know, we were roaming with our 3 kids at the fun fair, or we take them to Disneyland. It's not like we go on candlelight dinners alone, and we'll go there, we'll still talk about the children only.
Yeah. Okay. If I ask you to think back to when you were 25, what did you fear then?
Maybe, I don't know, but I maybe feared that I'd never become anything.
Do you fear anything now?
No.
Nothing.
Yeah, when you have kids, you like worry for them.
Yeah.
But
No,
other than that,
kids, I mean, you have to worry about kids. There's no
I
option.
think, you know, when you, I think having my kids has really kind of, I'm telling you, when Joker bombed, I was like, we were fine. We were like, at least it's out of the way. Get on. I don't fear that because I've seen it, and I know that people who don't have a family and don't have kids and make that the most important thing.
Yeah.
That Friday, the most important thing about their lives.
Yeah.
I feel sad, and I feel that it's very sad because what are you? Yeah, cannot be my life. It's my passion, and I want to make for the love of the movie. But how much has it collected? Has it crossed that one? Has it done better than that movies? Those days are gone. You know, I'm maybe evolved a little more. So I think that, and I always feel if you fear something, it will manifest. You know, I believe in that secret or whatever. What you imagine is what will happen to your life. So right now I was just thinking that when someone asked me what do you want, and I don't even want like make a wish. I think I'm pretty much happy. I'm in a good space. I'm going to make a movie as and when it happens. Earlier I used to be like Shahrukh also tells me, I used to be so impatient and so wanting to make it now, and why are you working with that one, and why is mine not start? That also not there. Okay, it's gone 2 months ahead. Okay, very good. I'll use that time. I'll take my kids for a holiday. I'll do. So I think I don't really fear. I mean, you worry for your children when they go, even when they go to school. I mean, that's every mother does that.
No, I was asking about a personal fear, not about kids. That is always going to be there, even when you.
Other than cockroaches, not really. I got married pretty late when I was 40, but at least you know, I
Yeah.
decided to have a family
Yeah.
also, because
Yeah.
it's what keeps you grounded, Pragya.
Yeah.
I think through experience, I'm saying, I'm
Yeah.
going to be 48 now.
Yeah.
It is what, if you don't have that, if you don't have your personal happiness,
Yeah.
a professional happiness will give you a
Yeah.
high for some time, but when that high is not there,
Yeah.
you know, that is what will keep you stable. So my thing is, go have your kids and spend time with them. Don't have to have a man, but have kids if you can.